Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with another worth of purchase where I play a game for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today I'm taking a look at Psyvariar 3, which is out digitally this week, but this is Physical Paradise, and I only talk about games with physical releases, and this does have one. It's quite interesting and a little bit complicated, so stay tuned, I'll detail it all later in the video, but first, what about the game? Psyvariar started life in arcades in the year 2000. Now, it is 2026, so it's taken a good while to get to the third mainline entry, but despite the lack of releases, the franchise does have its fan base, especially those who love the gameplay style it goes for. The series is known for its grazing type gameplay, which the franchise calls buzzing. This has you gaining bonuses by being as close to enemy bullets as possible, without getting hit, of course. The closer you are to the most bullets in a short space of time, that will increase your level, which in turn increases your power and your point earning potential. Plus, when you level up, you get a speed boost and even a few frames of invincibility. There are only 6 stages. It is quite short, but there are multiple difficulty options. However, those options are locked behind your skill. You want to play on extreme? Well, you've got to show you can handle it, because the difficulty is decided between each stage. So stage 1 is on the base difficulty always, but once you finish that, you choose the difficulty you want stage 2 to be, but only if you've hit the required level. Being able to choose normal is usually doable, like getting to level 10 on the first stage. You can do that, I think, but hard and extreme, you have to be buzzing more than a beehive to be able to choose them at that point. That is for high-level players, and I have no intention of being one. And this goes on between stages, like you can choose to go up or down in difficulty. Obviously, I practice mostly on easy because I'm terrible and also new to the game. And while I have played grazing shmups before, I will admit this is the first time I've tried to take the mechanics seriously. But I did dip into normal here and there, and even braved hard once or twice. I like the choice, and I like the fact that you feel you earned the right to try higher levels. The game feels good to play, at least on Nintendo Switch 2. I played through the game there for a good few hours and it felt great. I then went down to the OG Switch, and in comparison it did feel a bit more sluggish, but that could just be the, frame rate whiplash. I'm sure I get used to it. Your hitbox is absolutely tiny, like comically so. It is a pixel, literally. You can even show it in the settings. There are 2 sizes to show. There is the real pixel size, and then there is a more visible, estimated location that you can actually keep an eye on during the gameplay. There are a handful of ships and pilots, each of whom play very differently from one another. I definitely gelled with the shuriken thrower the most. His rolling ability to detach his modules and leave them in one place was nicely tactical. Oh yeah, aside from your main shot, you also have a rolling shot. This is where you hold the shoulder button, and while each character does do something different, the idea is that it is a more focused, powerful shot, but makes you a bit slower. I also believe it increases your XP, although that could just be for one character. They all have their quirks, their passive abilities as such. Same with the panic bomb. They all try something different, but I think this is the least interesting aspect of the whole game. I think I'd prefer it if they all just blew stuff up. But you've got one who teleports, another who reflects or absorbs things. Honestly, just give me 6 different kinds of explosives and I'd have been happy. Despite only having 6 stages, if you're like me, it'll take a short while before you crack all of them, especially if you feel like you've got too much dignity to admit you're only good for easy mode. You do have limited continue, so you can game over, but the more you play, the more continues you earn, so eventually you will get over the line, and easy mode, it is very approachable, it is learnable. But let's face it, you all want to at least try and complete it on normal. And there are quite a few modes here to keep you occupied. There's the standard arcade, there's the 2-minute caravan, there's an arrange mode which only has 1 difficulty but completely different enemy patterns. It feels like a purer competition for score chasers, like there's fewer variables. Then there's Endless, which is really interesting. You basically generate your own game by inputting a seed, or randomly generating one, and the game seems to be like a single screen, but enemies are drawn up thanks to the seed, and if you share this number with your friend, they can play the exact same one as you, and you can have a little competition within your own little game. That's great. And finally, there is mission mode, which each character has 7 missions to attempt. different for each character. They mostly revolve around not dying for a certain length of time, getting a certain amount of kills, a high buzz number, and so on. I wouldn't call them inventive, but it adds an extra layer of content to a genre that's often lacking. And also it can help you with different gameplay styles. For me, Psyvariar 3 is great. I've really enjoyed this one. Before I get into the physical release, the details, if you are new here and you like physical video games, you enjoy actually owning the thing you pay money for, then hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. Not only do you get worthless opinions like these, but you also get new game announcements, alerts on rare game restocks or reprints, discounts, and of course, explanations of surprisingly complicated physical releases like this one that I'm about to tell you. So, in the West, in North America, there is no physical release. However, in Europe, there is a retail physical on PlayStation 5. That's it. It is out this week. There's the normal edition, but if you check the links in the description and pinned comment, you'll see that at redartgames.com, they have a deluxe edition, which is the same price as a standard edition, but comes with an exclusive cover sleeve, as well as a sheet of magnets. There are only 500 copies of this version. If you want it, you can grab that specific version. Click the link in the description, because if you click my link, you can also get a tasty 10% off with my discount code Jordan10. Now, the elephant in the room, especially for long-term viewers of the channel, is that I've said that Red Arc Games probably would announce a Switch and or Switch 2 Western physical closer to release date. But, well, it's not come, and so I asked them directly, come on guys, what are your plans? And they said they do not have plans for a Western Switch or Switch 2 physical in the West. Straight from the horse's mouth. Which I understand. I guess it is a niche shmup game. It's a much bigger financial risk on Nintendo consoles. However, do not worry, Nintendo collectors, gamers, and physical fiends, because there is an option. As you should know, because the reason I brought this game up quite a lot in the past is if you gaze your eyes over to Japan, they are getting a physical release on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge. And they both have English language as an option. They are releasing this week in both a standard edition as well as a limited collector's edition for all consoles, even the PlayStation 5 if you fancy something a bit more snazzy as a PS5 collector. It comes with a set of pins to celebrate the series' anniversary as well as a soundtrack CD. It is worth noting that the Switch 2 physical is not a Switch 2 edition, so that will not play on your original Switch. And I know what some of you are saying, Jordan, I've seen game on eShop, it's a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Yes, in Western eShops, it is a Switch 2 edition, but in Japan, it's not. It's a standalone Switch 2 build. Why? To mess with my mind when trying to figure this out. So at the end of the day, you have to choose your physical version carefully. If you want to import the Japanese physical edition, you can do so via the links in the description and pinned comment. You can import them from PlayAsia, and if you click my link, not only do you support me, but I can support you too, because clicking my link allows you to use my discount code Jordan2026 to get 5% off. And of course, VGP are selling these Japanese copies too, as well as the European Standard PlayStation 5 edition, and they have free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, which is 55 American dollars. Also, as an added bonus, I will stick Psyvariar Delta down there too on Nintendo Switch, which includes the first game and its remixes if you fancy that as well. Any purchase made via the links helps support me in the best way possible. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Would I buy this myself? Yes. Banana Bytes, the developer, have, in my opinion, delivered again. They've created one of my favorite indie shmups in Softstar, and now they've created a great entry in a more established franchise. You can easily argue the visuals look a bit cheap, and that's kinda true, but when you're playing, it's definitely much better. The gameplay is great, it's addictive, it's learnable, and there are plenty of modes and content to keep many a shmup fan happy. Sorry, that's a joke. Shmup fans are never happy. Having just come off the brutality of R-Type 3, this, while equally challenging in its own way, was a breath of fresh air. It is a pick-up-and-play title, and I think shmup fans will enjoy it. How about you? Are you planning on picking this up? Were you waiting for a Western Switch physical? Or did you already pre-order the Japanese edition? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.